All right, everybody, welcome back into the Root for Sports podcast. Hey, we've taken you to California, we've taken you to Florida, down south of Miami, and now we're going to Ohio, baby. And the reason why is because I have my man JD in from Fantasy World Order. What is happening, my man? Great to have you in.
Jason, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be a part of the podcast tonight.
Hey, believe me, it's my pleasure to have you. I got to tell you, you are one popular guy. I got to say, people retweeting you all over the place. You know your stuff. You got your own podcast. You're big time, my man. So listen, the pleasure and the honor is all mine.
Well, thank you, sir. Definitely appreciate this. Yes, we're going to have fun.
Well, we definitely are. And the reason why we're going to have fun is because we talk sports. We love sports. We write about it. We talk about it all day long. It's our livelihood. So what do you say we just hop right into it and get going, because that's what the people want to hear.
Most definitely, Jason. Let's go with it now. Let's go.
All right. I think both of our favorite sport is the NFL. Am I correct about that?
Oh, no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. I'm with you 100%. I can't get enough of it, and I would have them play tomorrow if I could. Skip the whole draft and let's just get going. All right? I'm ready to roll. But with that being said, we do have a draft coming up. Before we get to that, I live here in New York, as you know. I'm not a New York Jets fan, but obviously I follow the team, being very close to them. And there's a big-time player that arrived over here from the west side, Tim Tebow. We all know who he is. I'll give you my perspective in a few minutes, but I'd really like to hear what you have to say about that whole situation.
Well, it's very ironic, Jason, we bring up Tim Tebow, because obviously we've talked. Me living in Northeast Ohio, I'm a Denver Broncos fan. I'm not the home state team either. I'm a Denver Broncos fan.
There you go. So the irony kicks in already. Beautiful.
So it's amazing. So I've been like the paparazzis all over me, asking me questions about this. Tim Tebow leaving, and in all honesty, I wish he would have stayed. But let's be honest, Peyton Manning didn't come to Denver to coach Tim Tebow. But he said, well, it's been a great learning experience for Tebow to have Manning in front of him. That's not why Manning came to Denver, not to be a teacher. Kind of like the same thing with Brett Favre back in the day. It wasn't there to teach Aaron Rodgers. Same with Tebow. So do we see Tebow as a backup? Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's even a quarterback, but I think he's one of the better athletes in the NFL.
Good point.
By far. Like I said, won a playoff game for my Broncos. I'm proud of that. And everybody says he wins. Well, you know what? He did his job as a player, and I was happy to stay here. But let's flip the script. Let's talk about the Jets. I don't know why it wasn't a hoopla for a backup quarterback. I can't believe that they're having this much press for a backup.
Yeah, when was the last time you heard a backup quarterback actually have a press conference in your life? It's ridiculous.
I mean, and the thing about it is, Jason, when you give your starting quarterback, a.k.a. Mark Sanchez, pretty much $20 million, I think, guaranteed, and then you bring Tim Tebow, the most highly profiled player, good or bad. Did you expect anything else but a circus right now?
There you go, exactly right. And that's what it's turned into, is a circus. And knowing the New York media, it's even more than that. I mean, it's, the rings are out, the lion's mouth, he's got his head in, the whole 9 yards, the rings are on fire. And it's upsetting to me because you made a good point before. You said that he's an athlete. He's a football player more than a quarterback first. And that's the thing. I look at him as an athlete, and he can bring a lot to a football team because he's so dynamic. Is he a great passer? No, but he can throw the ball, and you have to be aware of that, the whole wildcat offense, whatever it may be. So if the media, if he went to another team, it wasn't the New York media, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, obviously. And I feel bad for the kid because he's put under this microscope that he's already in, and now it's just a bigger deal and modified even more. And it upsets me because he can be a great asset to a team if we just left it as him being a football player.
And that's a great way to put it too, Jason. The thing is also, it's not Tim Tebow's fault. Everybody hates this guy. I hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, JD, I don't want to hear anything about Tim Tebow, blah, blah, blah. It's not Tebow's fault. This is the mecca of all players in the NFL. Why? I don't know. It may be because he's quote-unquote perfect right now.
Right.
Everybody wants this guy to have a flaw. Everybody wants him to end up messing up like Tiger Woods did and some of these other star athletes. They want this guy to fall. They want him to get a DUI. They want him to do something stupid. Well, right now he's not doing it. He's saying all the right things. He's having the great press conferences. He's got the look. He's got the smile. And unfortunately, there's a lot of haters out there, and they want this guy to fail. And it's not Tim's fault at all.
Excellent point. One, that you say that it is not his fault, because it's not like he's calling the press conferences. That he's got bosses, like he said, during the press conference, and he has to do these things. He's not putting himself out there. So no doubt. It does bother me that he gets hated on because there is no reason to hate this person. He's just a good guy. And yes, I understand maybe he portrays his faith a little more than others, but again, he's not doing it to get attention. He's a believer in his faith and his God, so there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to share his religious beliefs, but you should respect him for being a good-hearted citizen. Again, you're right, everybody's looking for him to go out and do something. They're waiting for this guy to mess up. Why? Stop with the paparazzi nonsense. Let him be a football player and let him do what he does. If we backed off, this wouldn't be such a story. That's the issue, and that's the problem I have with the whole thing.
Another thing, Jason, he didn't ask for, the Carnegie Deli, I read on the internet and stuff like that, has made their own Tebow sandwich. It's called the Jet Bow. I've actually seen pictures of it on the web. Please Google search the Jet Bow. Honest to God, it is the most disgusting-looking, heart attack waiting to happen sandwich I've ever seen in my life. And it's actually $22.22. And they say the reason for that is it's Tebow's number and Sanchez's number plus tax. $22.22. So tell me, Jason, did Tim Tebow go, you know what? When I sign with you guys, you better make sure you make a sandwich out of my name.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
I mean, where else are you going to get this information, guys, but from JD, all right? I mean, that is beautiful right there. That is excellent. I love it. That's good insight. Oh, that is funny stuff. Yeah, so, and like I say, he's got his billboards are all over the place with the jockey and everything. Again, nothing that he asked for. So, hey, look, we'll see. We'll let the whole thing play out. And, you know, I wish him luck. Hopefully he can contribute and, you know, make the Jets a winner for the Jet fans' sake. But let's stay in the NFL, and let's hop on the draft a little bit because now we're getting really close. We're only a couple of weeks away as it is. And obviously the two high-profile guys of the whole thing is Andrew Luck and RG3, and they'll be synonymous forever. Hopefully not in the way that Peyton Manning, your new boy, and Ryan Leaf are, but maybe in the way that, I don't know, Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning could possibly be, something like that, or Ben Roethlisberger even more specifically. That was a very good quarterback class. Now these two guys, they look to be top-notch. What do you think?
I always feel, Jason, there's no absolute lock in the NFL draft. I mean, on paper, there's always somebody, but you brought up a great name, Ryan Leaf. I mean, there you go. There's your lock of the century. Well, obviously, we see what that happened, and this poor guy's in a lot of trouble in his life beyond football. So, right. Thinking of RG3 and Andrew Luck, on paper, these two guys are phenomenal. They're definitely the right choices for any team. I think it's amazing now that the Colts are coming out and saying, well, we might not take Luck now, it might take RG3.
Right. We've had enough of you, say stop already. Just go draft players. Enough.
Yes. I think it's smoke screens. I think they're taking Luck. I think they know they're taking Luck. I just think they're throwing that out there. And let's be honest, do the Redskins really care? They're taking Andrew Luck if they take RG3.
Right.
All they know is they're getting a quarterback. They moved up to get that quarterback. So if I'm a Redskins fan, just give me one of them. You know, I mean, don't play games with me. You want RG3, take him.
Exactly.
You know, I'm taking Andrew Luck. And on paper, these two are the quarterbacks. A lot of people I'm hearing are saying that RG3 will fail in that Washington Redskins system, that Mike Shanahan's not friendly with the quarterback, and RG3 won't, do well. I don't know about that. RG3 is a heck of an athlete, but this guy actually, as we're seeing, at least in college, that he can throw the ball. He's more than just that Michael Vick people are trying to offer him.
Oh, yeah.
He actually can throw the ball. He's an amazing player. He's built like the man he is. So, on paper, I mean, we know paper burns, Jason, but on paper, these two obviously are definitely the two best quarterbacks, and they should be the top two picks.
Right, we'll see, and they will be the top two picks. It's almost a foregone conclusion at this point, and we'll see how it does play out if they live up to that status of 1 and 2. Comparing them, I really don't want to compare them. Today I came up with the comparison, actually. It was interesting. I want to get your thoughts on this. One of my buddies had asked me to go, who do you compare RG3 to, and who do you compare Andrew Luck to? Andrew Luck, to me, I know that he's a better athlete than most people give him credit for, and he's been a starter for, 3 or 4 years over there in Stanford, so he's polished and he's ready to go. But I don't see that really big arm out of him. I don't really see him being a superstar type of quarterback. I do, however, see him lasting longer than RG3, if RG3 is going to be that runner type, which, again, we both agree, we know he can throw the ball, and stats show that he was one of the best downfield passers in college last year. So, with that being said, I think RG3 kind of compares a little bit to Aaron Rodgers. I know that comparison really hasn't been thrown out that much, but they both got really strong arms, can move out of the pocket, very intelligent quarterbacks, and that's another thing that he should get more credit for, is how smart he is and his leadership abilities, and the fact that, again, he is a really stand-up dude and a type of leader. So, I don't know, I mean, do you think that maybe Andrew Luck could be longer lasting, a better quarterback? And I hate to compare both of them because we haven't seen them yet, but which do you think would actually have the better progression going forth in the NFL, even given the teams that they're on right now, knowing that Andrew Luck is going into a chaotic situation with the Colts, who really have nobody out there?
As much as that's a great question, Jason, it's a hard question to answer also. Andrew Luck and RG3, in my opinion, on paper, are two different quarterbacks. Andrew Luck is more of the pure passer. He's the second coming of what they think maybe be Peyton Manning. Obviously, the Colts are hoping that.
Sure.
And RG3 is only known for his athletic ability. And you're exactly right. He's not getting enough credit for his leadership and his ability that he can have on the field as a general out there. And I think he's going to be fine. People are overlooking that. I think he's going to be excellent-minded for the NFL game. There's no problem there. That being all said, I really can't answer that honestly because I don't know which one can last longer. Andrew Luck looks like the one that should last longer, but the overall stats in the end, it's really hard to say. You have two different style quarterbacks, so I definitely both think they can both be successful. How long? It's always hard to say in the NFL. The NFL's turnover rate with obviously free agency and the draft, teams can go from whatever they were before to all of a sudden playoff teams the next year, and that's the luxury of the 21st century in free agency.
Right.
So you put the pieces around these two great athletes, obviously they can win tomorrow. Well, it's going to take time? Well, of course it is, and they're going to get under a microscope all year long from the day they're drafted all the way to the season starts, and then we're going to critique them every Monday morning.
Exactly.
And obviously that's what's going to end up happening either way.
Yeah, and again, it all goes back to it being a media-driven, paparazzi type of world. It's too bad we can't just let it be what it be and let these kids go out there and play ball and just not hold them up to number 1 and number 2 status. But, hey, that's what they are, and we'll see how it all turns out. The Saints, I wanted to touch on them real quick because they're very fascinating to me, this whole situation, what's been going on. It's been a total whirlwind over there. I mean, coming off a Super Bowl a couple of years ago, bringing that city back from the horrible disaster that was Katrina and everything, you have this bounty situation, which we know that they're not the first team in the NFL to do it, but it seems they're the first one to get caught and get severely punished for it. I believe that the punishment is validated, but I'm still shocked, even knowing Goodell's stern punishment issues, that he gave Sean Peyton, the head coach, suspended him for an entire year, leaving the Saints now without a head coach, without half of their staff, and Drew Brees without a contract. So where it looked to be like they were the most stable organization a couple of months ago, now they're up there with the Jets as the most, unstable of them all. What's your take on that?
Definitely shocked by it. I think that they deserve the punishment. It happened, but the year suspension on Sean Payton. Wow, that is. Is it strict enough? Is it not? Is it not too strict, or however you want to say it? I don't really know. But to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised. A year on the coach, bam, gone. Obviously, like you said, Jason, it's going around the league. It's happening. There's a lot of things that happen in the league we do not know. Unfortunately, somebody went out and knocked on the Saints, and it happened.
Yep.
The problem I'm having is, though, a lot of people think it's not that big of a deal. People I talk to over Twitter and stuff, they tell me, well, it's a hard-hitting game anyways. You go out there to punish the next guy. Yeah, that may be so, but with all the millions of dollars these people are making, do you actually have on the side a little side bet? Okay, you know what? Here's a couple extra $100. Go knock that guy's head off.
Right.
You need more incentive to go knock that guy's head off. Then you shouldn't even be in the league because this is what it's all about. You have to have your head on the swivel, and if you need to put money on top of someone's head to make it more enticing for you to go out there to hit him, to me that's disgusting. And for anybody to say, it's a hard-hitting game, JD, it's no big deal, well, I don't believe that at all. I think it's disgusting, and obviously the punishment fits the crime, but who knows also what's going to happen. I don't think they're done yet, and they're obviously still investigating players. Sean Payton and them have actually... what they say, they went to the board, actually, they're, how do you say it, they're trying to get away, trying to get this sentence lessened.
Right, they're appealing it, excuse me, right, that's correct.
Yes, and I'm not sure if he's going to lessen the sentence or not, but I am exactly with you on that. A year, wow, that came out of left field for me, and I'm really surprised that, but Goodell had to make a statement, and this is definitely one he's showing the world, hey, I'm serious, this isn't going to happen again, and if it does, it's going to probably be worse on the next coach.
Right, and there you go. You're setting a standard, and it's definitely a tough one right off the bat. And I want to make one point about the whole money situation and how people say, these players aren't motivated by money. Who cares about, $1,000 for making a big hit on special teams? Well, if the money doesn't matter, then why is it being offered? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it does matter. It is an incentive. Even if you're offering somebody a lollipop, whatever it is. It's an incentive to do something, to win that contest, to be the man. So you'll do whatever you have to do to win. A lot of people do that. They don't care if they cheat or how they get that trophy or how they get that prize cash, as long as they have it. So the point is that if these minuscule amount of little thousands of dollars to them where they're millionaires, if it doesn't matter, then why would the coaches offer it? And the reason is because it is an incentive and it does motivate them, and that's the reason why this happens. And look what happened now. Now Greg Williams is out of a job, Sean Peyton is out for a year, and who knows what's going to happen with the Saints and Bill Parcells if he wants to come into this mess.
Yeah, it's actually disgusting. I mean, now Bill Parcells are saying, which I did not realize, that he was close friends with Sean Payton, so that makes it intriguing. If I'm Bill Parcells, he's on the brink of making the Hall of Fame, and people said, well, the Hall of Fame will probably just waive his, go ahead and coach, and they'll still let him get in. I don't believe that. I think they're going to stick with their guns, and they're going to stick with their guns, and they're going to make him win there 5 years. If I'm Bill Parcells, I know Sean Payton's your buddy. Why do you want to go risk your name, go into that mess? I know they still have that great team and stuff, but every week it's all we're going to hear about is Bill Parcells and the bounty team. Basically, he's not going to get any credit unless they go off and win the Super Bowl. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be behind him or actually in front of him, and he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
So if I'm Bill Parcells, stay away. You don't need the money. I'll see you in Canton next August. It's not worth it.
You're right.
I don't think you should do it.
You're right, and you make a great point about that. It's really Super Bowl or bust. I mean, if he comes back and wins the Super Bowl, then you know what? He'd probably wait another 5 years, but that's putting a lot of eggs into one basket. So that's a great point out of you. So, yeah, if I'm him, stay away, because the Hall of Fame has made it pretty clear that he'll have to wait another 5 years if he does indeed come back to coaching. We know how many times he's come back already. Enough is enough, Bill. Just hang out at home, bud. You got your hardware. Let's transition, because the NFL, we've got the draft coming up, and me and you are going to talk again, obviously, as we get closer to that, but I want to spend a few minutes on baseball with you. All right?
Okay, great.
We can maybe jump into fantasy a little bit, but, we actually had an opening day in Japan, which came out of nowhere. I was surprised, but I even forgot about it, and I had to set my DVR for 5 o'clock in the morning, and even worse, if you're an Oakland A fan or a Seattle Mariner fan, you either had to wait until 2 o'clock in the morning or DVR that and watch it the next morning or afternoon, whatever it is. I don't like how they had a sneaky opening. I have no problem where they open necessarily. It's not the thing with Japan. It's just the fact that they're opening a week before you're having, your hard opening in the United States and everything, where you're having a full opening day, and it just doesn't really make any sense. If you want to build momentum and everything, let it transition right into the flow of it. Don't come back and play 5, exhibition games. It doesn't make any sense to me. So that's how they started it off, and I find it strange, really weird.
I think it is also, and the big thing we talked about on my show before, that do you think it was, I'll ask you, Jason, we talked about it, do you think it's wrong that I know you're not against them playing in Japan, but do you think it was wrong that they started in Japan? I mean, this is, quote-unquote, America's game.
Right.
This is, in my opinion, I fight with a lot of people about this. I think NFL has taken over Major League Baseball, but other purists think baseball is the sport, it's America's game, it's the best. Okay, that's fine. That's said and done. Mm-hmm. If that is true, you want to have a game in Japan, why don't we do like the NFL, and all of a sudden they throw that game overseas week 7 or 8 or whenever they end up having that game.
Right.
Why don't they do the same thing here? What's your take on that? I want to know, okay, fine, I'm all for the Japan, that's fine, I have no problem with that. But to start the season with Japan, if this is America's game, why does Japan get 2 games at 5 in the morning for us? I just don't think that's right.
No, it isn't. And I don't want to use the words wrong or right. I don't think it's a matter of that. I just think that it doesn't make sense. I want to put it that way. Again, it is America's pastime. It's our national sport, and it should open up in America. There's no doubt about it. But even more, it shouldn't open up and not even have it on TV, for goodness sake. I mean, everybody missed the ball on that one. It wasn't even televised, the game. The very first game that counted this Major League Baseball season, nobody saw. Nobody saw, and that really bothers me. And I don't know how they can let something like that happen. So all around, yeah, I'm not using right or wrong. It just doesn't make any sense. They messed up, and I hope they fix it next year. They really better.
You're right. I did word that wrong. I do apologize.
No. It's not It's not. No, not at all. I just wanted to make sure that people didn't think that I'm saying wrong or anything like that. But no apology on your side at all.
Yeah, I have nothing against Japan. I have nothing against Ichiro, and I mean, obviously the Japanese. They're basically all over the place in Major League Baseball.
Look at you, Darvish, coming over this year. He's lights out with Texas. We welcome. Hey, if you can play ball, come on, bring it on. We don't care where you're from.
Yeah, no, no, I definitely agree with you, most definitely. So it has nothing to do with wrong or right. You're exactly right. But the whole principle of why do we do this? I mean, I'll never understand it. I don't think it's ever going to end. I think they're going to keep doing it this way. So
I hope not. I really hope not. But hey, look, at least we're going to have the hard opening coming up, like we say, in a few days. So let's look forward to the season a little bit. Let's get our predictions out there a little. I went ahead and I made mine already. First of all, but before we actually make the predictions, I wanted to see how you felt about the new format and them adding a wild card team. Basically, it's just one more wild card team per division, per league, as we all know, and they're going to have a one-game playoff to now go ahead back into the regular format. What do you think about that?
I love it, actually. I think it's great for the game. I mean, because let's be honest, the way baseball is, there's not a lot of money floating around, even though it seems like there is. A lot of these teams are like, me being in Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland Indians, they have nowhere near the money like the New York Yankees have, the Dodgers can have.
Yep.
So I agree with this most heartily. I mean, for any fan, because being an Indians fan, it's kind of like most of the time, before All-Star break, the season's already over. So now when you have these wild card games, you have these features like that, it makes me as an Indians fan still have that hope that, hey, we can at least get in there. Well, people always say, well, what does it matter? The Indians will make it. They're going to lose anyway. Really? I mean, not necessarily. At least they're getting a chance, and that's all I want. I just want the opportunity. I just want to be able to get in there and try. If
Okay.
people do this, let's be honest, the Indians aren't making it. I mean, because you know who's going to make it, let's be honest. Your top names in the American League are the ones that are going to go. So I know a lot of the purists hated the wild card in the first place, but I love it. I think it's great for the game. It's about the fans and the purists. I mean, they're mostly all old school people, and that's okay. But it's for today's generation, and I think this is excellent for the whole game itself.
Well, I'll tell you what, you made a lot of great points, but I'm still going to disagree with you. As much as I respect your answer, I definitely disagree because I guess I maybe am a little bit more of the purist, I suppose, because when they expanded to, they had the Marlins and the Rockies and the Diamondbacks and the Rays came along 5 years later from 93 to 98, and they added, and if we remember back in 1993, 92, they only had 2 teams from each league make it. You had to win your division, and that was it. And that was a little, at the time I said, you know what, I love it this way, I'm purist, let's keep it. I came around to the wild card. I said, you know what, it does. It brings in more fans. It keeps other teams in it longer. It's obviously good for the sport financially. So I came around and I like it. This I don't like. I think that to have a 162-game season, which is already extremely long, these guys are playing every single day. For it to come down to, let's say you're the last wild card team. Let's say you're the Texas Rangers, and you're battling it out with, I don't know, the Rays and maybe another team. Let's say you're Indians, if you get lucky or whatever. And and the Rangers finished 10 games better than the other wild card team, but they still have to play one game. Is that fair to have one game when they finish 10 games better all year long? So, all right, come in and, it all depends what pitcher you have healthy that day and rested to come in. For one game to put so much emphasis on after a 162-game season, to me, does not sit right at all. And that's my major beef with the whole thing. So I hope you can understand where I respectfully disagree with you.
No, that's fine. I wish you would have went first. I would change my opinion, actually. Because I think you're exactly right. I mean, you put it that way, I'm kind of like, wow, I'm kind of cringing in the corner now, thinking, Peyton has this one down pat. Maybe I'm wrong. So I just want to. Can we rewind this?
No, there's no right or wrong, man. You got your opinion, I got mine. I may not be right, and I think a lot of people are really on your side, actually, JD, to be honest with you. Even guys like, ESPN analysts, and people like that, they love it. It brings more, and I guess the one thing maybe it does do, and I was looking at it maybe the wrong way, I thought that it diluted the division winner, but actually it does put more emphasis on it, meaning that if you win your division, you don't have to worry about this silly little one-game playoff or whatever. So maybe in that respect it does, I don't know, give the division winner a little more credence, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And my biggest thing is when you've got 30 teams, 30, it's unbelievable. And unfortunately, there's only a handful that are actually going to go to the World Series, and you have a couple that may sneak in there. But overall, you have your favorites, and the rest of them are all new hopes, or they're, might be your lucky Leafs or whatever.
Right, exactly right.
There's only 6 teams, honestly, altogether, that pretty much whoever he's picking. The Phillies was a pick last year. Yep. They actually choked. But let's be honest, you're going to keep picking the Phillies as long as they have that pitching staff and hitting. inning,
You got it.
You're going to think, well, I think the Pirates have a chance now. No, you're not. You're in the National League. So
that's right. No, you're right. You got your core teams, like you see. The Red Sox, they just missed it last year. They were a little banged up, but Red Sox, Yankees, teams like that. Now the Rangers have come along. The Phillies, absolutely no question, and even the Cardinals, seemingly, they seem to stick around. They lost Albert Pujols this year, so it'll probably be a different story. But going forward in the last couple of minutes that we have together tonight, what is your? I don't want to get too far into it. If you don't have to make an exact World Series prediction, if you want to, be my guest. I would love to hear it, but. Just looking forward to some of those better teams down the road. Who do you see in it toward the end?
Well, for the American League, I definitely the Red Sox, people are counting them out already. The Red Sox are the Red Sox. They're always there. They have a nice team. I love their lineup, their pitching staff. They'll be fine without Papelbon and that. They're doing well. There's no problem there. My biggest team, though, in the East, though, and I think people are overlooking them, not everybody, but I think everybody, obviously, it's so easy to pick the Yankees. Everybody does it. Is the Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays, unbelievable, that pitching staff.
Yep.
They have top to bottom the hitters on that team, Jason. They're not definitely a sleeper team, that's for sure. But this is definitely a team that I think could just wipe out everybody in that division, even though we have the Red Sox and Yankees. I love the Rays in that division, to be honest with you.
I hear that. Hey, you make good points on the Rays. They're very good. But go ahead, please. I like the Rays.
And Central Division, have to go with the Tigers. Being an Indians fan, I thought they may have a chance, but still we're probably going to be 15 games out of first place. Unfortunately, you had...
By May. I'm sorry.
Come on, Peyton, you're killing me.
I'm sorry, JD. I had to get one shot in. I had to get one.
But the Prince Fielder you had, I'm looking at 25, 30 games out. Not by May, but and I'm nervous about that. We talk about the West. I think the cream of the crop, in my opinion, is the Rangers. I know everybody loves the Angels. I know they love the pitching staff now. The addition of Albert Pujols. I think C.J. Wilson is there.
Yep.
I like the Rangers. I actually like the Rangers all the way to go to the World Series.
Okay.
So I definitely the Athletics and Mariners. I mean, let's go back to Japan again. We might have just kept them out there. No offense again to Japan. There may be out there from Japan listening. I do apologize. I have nothing against their country. I've never been there before. But let's be honest. If you want the Athletic and Mariners, go ahead, because nobody else does.
Oh, that's excellent. That's just great.
Talk about the National East now. This is always one of those divisions. The Mets fans, come on, guys. Let's be honest. The Mets are a wreck. Julian Santana is your opening day starter. We talked about it on a couple message boards. Can Johan win over under 15 games? I don't think he can win 15 games. And why not, Jason? He can't stay healthy. There's no way this guy's healthy. If he is, okay, of course. But this guy's health issues, everybody has health issues in life. It's the way it is. But let's be honest, Johan Santana is definitely out there with health issues. I don't like their chances. I think the Phillies in that division, the Braves are always the Braves. Yep. A lot of people like the Miami Marlins, actually. But as long as the Phillies have that pitching staff, there's no way. I think they're a clear-cut East winner.
Okay.
Talk to Central. My buddy T, Houday on Twitter. He's my producer on my show on Thursday nights. He's a big Reds fan, and he hates all the bandwagon jumpers on the Reds. He's afraid we're all going to jinx him, I think. But let's be honest, the Reds are the cream of the crop in this division. I know people are still kind of tweeting with the Brewers and the Cardinals, but you can wipe out the Cubs, the Astros, and the Pirates. So it makes it a three-team race there. I definitely like the Reds in that division.
Okay.
The West, I've always been a Dodgers fan. I love the Dodgers, but they're in the same boat. They got a lot of holes, a lot of wrecks. They got the young emerging star D Brown. I think he's D Brown. I called him. The shortstop. I forgot his first name now. I feel ridiculous.
No, I think it is D. I think you're actually right. I think it's D.
Brown. Yes, I thought I said his name wrong. I apologize.
No, but, I know. We're both thinking about the Boston Celtics point guard, right? D Brown from back in the day.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying to myself. I'm like, wait a minute, D Brown. I know that guy. There's a little blindfold over his eyes.
Yeah, very good, my man. Oh, I love it. What a great memory. Beautiful.
But I look at him getting 50 steals. He'll do well for the Dodgers lineup. I think he's definitely a guy if we want to talk fantasy, but that's another show, another day.
Absolutely.
This division, I think it's wide open. I think it's interesting. The Diamondbacks I absolutely can't stand, but they do have the team, the offense. The Padres are right there also, and you can't count the Giants. This is one of those divisions, I think, Jason, you take a coin, you flip it up in the air, and or actually you got 5 teams, so I don't know if you have a 5-headed coin somewhere, one of those magic tricks. So I think that's my opinion there with that. I definitely have to go with Phillies Rangers in the World Series.
Okay.
And I actually like the Rangers to win it.
So you like the Rangers getting back for the third time, but this time to actually take it home.
Yes, for sure. Yes, I mean it's like I said, I'm not the baseball guru. I don't know it all. This is just my opinion. So please don't come back and get me in September and say, they told you this wasn't going to happen.
Oh, this is recorded. That's it. It's recorded. We got you.
Right, but in March it's all wax. I'm taking the Rangers. So
all right. So you got the Rangers winning the World Series. Very nice. Hey, they're due. Obviously, the last couple of years they made it, but got shot down by the Giants and also got shot down by the Cardinals last year. So, all right, mine real quick. I'm actually, I love that you said the Reds. I'm surprised because I thought I was the only one who thought these guys were going to be great. I love the Reds. I think they're going to the World Series. I don't have them winning the World Series, but I got them going all the way, beating out teams like the Braves and the Giants and the Rockies, and I think the Marlins might make it in as a wild card. But I like the Reds coming out of the National League. In the American League, I like Boston, Detroit, the Angels. I also have the Rangers in as a wild card with the Yankees. When it's all said and done, I think the Detroit Tigers have too much pitching and will have too much hitting for everybody, and they will take it home, beating the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series this year. And that is my prediction for the MLB. And what are we, in 2012 already? Oh my goodness, the world's going to end at the end of the year. Did you know that? The Mayans. Oh my God. This is it. Last baseball season we're ever going to have. We got to enjoy it. Oh my God.
You're exactly right.
So that's it. I got the Detroit Tigers beating the Reds in the World Series, and I'm usually wrong about everything. I usually get the teams in there right, but at the winner I just can't seem to get that one. Something's wrong with me. But hey, we'll see. Time will tell.
Most definitely. There's definitely two good choices, and you can't go wrong with that. And I definitely think the Reds, you can't overlook them. They have too many pieces, for sure, and they're definitely one of the teams to beat. I definitely feel that way. There's no doubt about that at all.
I totally agree. They got a formidable lineup, no doubt, and they got some young arms in that staff. And if they all can stay healthy, and that's obviously the key is health, I think they could be great, and I think they can go all the way. All right, very interesting. I got to tell you, man, this was probably my favorite show out of everyone that I've done, and I can't even remember how many. This was just awesome having you in today. I mean, fabulous, man. JD, I can't thank you enough, bro. I really can't. This was great.
Well, thank you, Jason. And by the way, I want to reiterate, I feel like the absolute moron. It's D. Gordon. Why I was taking D. Gordon, right? About it, and I still threw my name off. It's D. Gordon, the shortstop. So please, no hate mail on Twitter like that. I'm not a moron. I had one of those moments. I had a senior moment at my age, I guess. So it's D. Gordon, the shortstop of the Dodgers, and look for him to get at least 50 steals. That's definitely one of my big predictions I have.
All right. Very good. Hey, at least he came back and corrected himself, guys. You got to give him credit for that.
Yes, but Jason, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. Route 4 Sports definitely is a place to go. I love looking at your website. You do a lot of good work there. And obviously you're at Sports Profit 1 on Twitter. I love following you. You're a great guy to talk to on and off the Twitter and actually live on the air. So definitely this was an honor, and I hope to come back soon.
And like I say, the honor was mine, the pleasure was mine, and you will definitely be back anytime you want. There's an open invitation for you anytime you want, my man. I'll stop the world for you, brother, all right? That's it. So go to fantasyworldorder.net. Listen to his podcast. He's been going live every Thursday. He's got people in the chat room like crazy. I mean, I'm not lying. Go. The proof is in the pudding. Go to his website, fantasyworldorder.net. It's all there. If you don't believe me, check it out yourself. JD, you're the best. We'll talk soon, babe.
Thanks, Jason. Have a nice evening.
All right, my man. You too.